Okay, so thanks for the introductions. I'm Lis O'Brien. I'm the DASBE manager, which is the Digital Academy for Sustainable Built Environment, a bit of a mouthful. I'm from TUS, based in the Thurles campus, but we deal right across the whole of TUS with what we do. And it falls within a remit of flexible and work-based learning. So that's me. I see I've got no notes, so I'm going to have to remember what I've put down. So this is what I'm going to look at, how DASBE can help you upskill predominantly. But before I continue, Barry was talking about RISE and the resources that you have in BIMSEED, which is what we prepared, and BIMCert, etc. The idea of DASBE is to link onto those. So the main part of DASBE, which is what I'm going to go through, is a one-stop shop for all trainings. So you can go into DASBE and connect to all the different trainings that are around Ireland in particular. Eventually, it's not quite there, but it's nearly there. So the first thing I'll go through, so this is what DASBE is. It's a digital hub to support and help upskill and reskill the construction industry. So yes, you've got to upskill, but the reskilling in different areas. There's lots of new areas now in the construction industry that you need to we need to upskill people in. And it's not just the traditional ones you think about, like the professionals and the workers. We're talking about the manufacturers, building providers, managers, IT and digital experts. It's coming to a massive big area. It's a huge crossover between manufacturing and construction now. So it's getting bigger and bigger, this area. So the four main things that DASBE deals with, we rapidly develop a range of courses in collaboration with industry partners. We provide partial funding to all the courses, and that's provided by HCI Pillar 3, which is through the Higher Education Authority. And DASBE has a national digital training platform, which I will show you, and the idea is a one-stop shop for Ireland. So we upskill everyone, and these are the five main parts. I talked about that we collaborate and develop our programs with industry. We also work with education and research bodies. Before I moved into the DASBE manager, I was working on a lot of EU projects at TUS. And obviously there's huge amounts of research, especially when it comes to training, because that was our main part of any of these projects, we'll produce training programs. So we have a huge backlog of that brought in. We've even taken things from TU Dublin through their previous programs as well. We like to share within the TUs, that's what we do. So we run a lot of these programs with education partners, not just at higher education, but also at further education. So we work a lot with the ETBs. Lis O'Brien ETB, we're running a site coordinator course at the moment, well, starting next week, which is the old Clerk of Works. So we're still taking people in for that, and that's a level 6. And they're funding it, so it's 100% funded. So we're accrediting it, they're funding it, and that's how we're trying to make this more of a collaborative approach. We use industry partners. They may come in as a guest speaker, 1 or 2 hours speaking, or they may actually take the whole role of being the lecturer for that course, depending on their capabilities. And bringing industry in is really important, because you're in the thick of it. You have these great case studies. You've worked on the ground, basically, and you're bringing that into the learnings. The second thing we do, as I say, we rapidly develop programs. So we design, the last higher diploma we did, which is for a residential retrofit energy course, is that we got that validation in 3 months. So literally from concept to developing, designing it, and getting it through validation. We got it up and running, ready to run in September. So we can do it very, very quickly. Certificates can take even shorter time, because you don't have to go through the extra academic councils. So we can get certificates up and running within 6 weeks as well. So that's one of the initiatives of this, and I'll go through them later on the courses that we have done. Flexible learning, we do a lot of programs, and they're all basically blended learning. So a lot of the lectures are done in the evening times, usually between 7 and 9 in the evenings, online lectures, and then we also make sure we have the practical element in all our modules or all our certificates. So we have workshops or site visits, and we work with industry on those. So the main reason we do it that way is because we're working in industry, you don't have time to take time off work. So the workshops or the site visits we try and do on Saturdays. If we can't do Saturdays, we try and do Fridays, so it doesn't affect the workload as well. Micro-credentials, that big buzzword that everyone's talking about now, you know, all the TU people here will sort of say, we've been doing it for years. We call them special purpose awards or certificates. Anything below 30 credits, and bear in mind that 5 credits is 100 hours learning, 20 hours contact. Oh, that's 1 credit, sorry, so 100 hours learning. So we can do them short space of time. A lot of our certificates, which are 5 credits, modules, you do them within 12 weeks, and that you're completed and got qualifications, and you can start stacking these and building these into high diplomas or other certificates. The next thing we've been looking at in DASBE isn't so much in the program delivery, it's more developing tools for delivery. So we're trying to develop VR tools and augmented reality tools, as well as using different digital technologies to enhance trainings. So it's not just for the students, it's for lecturers as well. Obviously, there's a lot of green tools we use as well, like life cycle assessment and life cycle costings, etc. in our programs. And the last thing, which is the main thing I'm going to sort of try and showcase today, is the digital platform. We've been working on this, and the idea of the platform is to host existing courses and feed them through Moodle. So it's a one place is developed for the learner. It's called a training centre. You have your own account, you hold your certificates there, and you have your whole list of all the different courses, not just from TUS or Atlantic Technological University, who are also partners in this, but if you're doing a course eventually in TU Dublin, you can host them in one place, connected to their Moodles. That's the vision. And same with CitA, you know, that's a vision, that's what we're trying to achieve. At the moment, we're testing it and piloting it with ATU and TUS. We signpost to other courses. I've mentioned that we can signpost to the old projects that I talked about earlier. And we also provide a big inform area where you can find out some little bits of information. Good YouTube videos we'll put on there, other good webinars we'll put on there for resources as well. So that's basically what we're doing. I suppose I should have pressed the buzzer for all these as we went. So this is the digital platform. The idea is to explore the courses, choose the courses, set up an account, and then you can start upskill. And it's the 3 domains which most people are familiar with: energy efficiency, circular economy, digital skills. All 3 are involved in all these courses generally. It's not usually one of those things. So this is the searching side of things. So you have a listed program. You can search by terms of listing things automatically, and you can filter through the category, you can filter through the provider, you can filter through duration. So if you only want to do a 10 or 12-week course, you know, you can filter it that way. Or you can filter by academic award, whether it's a level 6, 7, 8, 9. Etc. So that's the idea of that. The second one is that you can put it into your basket. You can view the programs in your basket, and it's like going online when you're shopping. You put things in your cart and then you save those, have a look at them later. Am I going to decide to take that course or buy that product? Basically the same principle. Then we go to my account, and this is where you log in as yourself, and you can order your purchases. You can choose your favourites, or you can actually buy the product. That went a little bit too fast. Now the QR code there you see on the right hand side, and that takes you directly to the DASBE website. So this is what we're running now, the course at the moment. Predominantly at the moment we're running the retrofit courses, because that's the big drive, that's what we really want to get going. So these are certificates in residential retrofit site coordination, the old Clerk of Works. As I said, that's the one that's been funded by Lis O'Brien ETB, or Mount Lucas to another variation. So if you're employed, that's 100% free. If you're not employed, DASBE will cover the funding, which is about 40% of the funding. Okay, so then we have the drones in construction. That's actually running now, and that's a level 6. And we purposely left it a level 6 to drive the young people into the construction industry. by rights, it should be a little bit higher, but level 6, fits the bill. And you become an unmanned pilot at the end of it. You get your certification for the Irish Aviation Authority not as part of the course. It has to be separate, but it's during the whole process. And we have the drones, don't have to be bought. We have the drones, we provide those, and they're done in Thurles campus. So there's very little issues with aviation problems in Thurles because it's a nice open space. So that's the drones. The other one is construction project management, which I know that Paul VC is running. That's already up and running. That was a springboard. It's not a DASBE, it was done through a springboard. And then certificate energy renovation of traditional buildings. That also has what you call a micro-credential, a 5-credit module to us, of fundamentals in energy renovation. The second module is on defects detection. So they're up and running. They actually start tonight. We have 45 last year. I think we've got about 39, 40 this year running on this. Again, that's all online. 2 site visits to particular buildings. One's an all-thatched cottage we're going to go to, and then another one is down in Cork. Have a look at some of the buildings down in Cork. That's run by Colin Murray, part of Heritage Council, so that's highly supported by the Heritage Council. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to develop programmes that the industry or professional bodies need as well. All people like Heritage Council need this for up and running, and SEI are also interested, so we're following on from that, and I'll talk about it later. We're going to develop a high diploma to slot those in. So once you complete these, you can continue into a different area. High diploma of residential energy retrofit management. We've ran that first again last year. Very successful. The third certificate we're running at the moment, which is the residential management one. You see 2 down. So there's 3 certificates in that. There's a fabric, there's a systems, and there's management. And you stack those together and you get your high diploma. Or you can just choose to do the one certificate in your own time. 3 years down the road, if it's still running, you can do your HDIP, build up to HDIP then. Then we have the Science in Built Environment Regulation. That's run by ATU, Atlantic Technology University. And again, they have 3 certificates. So ones they're running at the moment is the Built Environment Regulation. I do know there's a fire safety one and there's a building science one as well. And again, you can just do certificates, but then you can build up into your postgrad. Obviously, that's level 9. The blue ones that I've highlighted, they're the digital ones. Oh, sorry, they're the circular economy ones. So the circular economy ones, which are postgrad or certificates you can do as well. And again, they're through ATU. The ones we're hoping to run in January are more digital based. It's just the way it sort of happened. So we have building information modelling for Revit in architecture and MEP. Paul VC will be doing that. They are short ones. They're basically 3 hours lectures per week over 10 weeks. So it can be done very, very quickly and move on. That can lead you then into the drones. And the drones, starting in January, is a shorter course. And it's done over 16 weeks rather than 24 weeks. Then we have the heat pump one, and that's run, I think that's run in Sligo by ATU. The green procurement in construction is the one that we're running in TUS, and we're hoping Davy Horizons will be running that. They're very familiar with the whole procurement. The second module of that will be run by IGBC, Life Cycle Assessment, Life Cycle Costings. Then we have the retrofit systems I talked about, which is part of the higher diploma. Then there's a few micro-credentials. Now, ATU don't have a micro-credential set up yet in ATU, but they're piloting one on BIM collaboration. The ones that are done in Athlone, here in Athlone, at TUS, is the Scan to BIM, virtual design and visualization. And there's a 3D content assets for the virtual reality. So you see the direction that Athlone they go more on the digitalization side of it. But you see the flow, you can get to understand BIM, you can use the drones, understand how to use drones, then you do the scan to BIM, and then you can progress further with high-end BIM or even digital twin. And I know that TU Dublin do some great ones on the high levels of the BIM as well. So you can see the whole list there. There's also the conservation, environmental services and fire safety I talked about before. That again, if you collect all those certificates, you put them in and you get a master's. This is what we're developing at the moment. And the whole point of what DASBE is, we don't just want to do things with TUS alone. We want to try and bring the other, especially the other technology universities, the other ETBs in on this as well. So modules could be shared. That's the idea of DASBE, is that we're not duplicating things. I know there's some great modules out there. And so my next task, when I've got the latest students all set up, is to start contacting people and say, can we use your Moodle in this? And we do a shared certification, etc., or accreditation. So this is what we're looking at. There's a level 7 diploma in sustainable construction. And there's project management aspects side of that as well, and green procurement construction. So you see before, I've already got a couple of those certificates already prepared, and they will lead then into a diploma. Same with the higher diploma in renovation of traditional buildings. We have the first one completed, and we have 45 people already through that. But we also have the conservation of traditional buildings, managing traditional buildings, renovation of traditional buildings, and lots of BIM aspects get brought into this, and digital tools. What can you use? How do you use them? Etc., and WUFI, all that side of things. Then we have the decarbonisation of buildings, and that's the one that people need to start looking at more. This is more on the circular base. This is more of sequencing carbon. You know, we need to start using the materials that will help us in the whole process of preventing emission use, etc. So that's the one I'm looking at the moment. And then the final one, robotics and advanced construction. That came from Spain, and they actually run it in Technalia, and we've in discussions with them on possibility of bringing it into Ireland to be run in Ireland as well. And they have a few other robotic type courses as well, or AI courses. So you see the change now, what's coming in the future. Micro-credentials, or we call certificates, you stack them and you can get your higher diplomas or your masters, or whichever direction you want to go. And that's it from me. Thanks for listening.